he's the second man.
Taking a look to the right, working its way out to runway 32 right. Cricket looks like it's just about done.
Ladies and gentlemen, your immediate front pilot's position is aircraft for a short takeoff. This liftoff technique, speed and runway required may be as slow as 2 knots ground speed and as short as 1 knot. This allows the pilot the greatest flexibility when considering available runway for the aircraft first wing. At far left, you see the aircraft coming in with a traditional low pass. The Harrier is taking quick accelerations to speeds approaching 600 knots. Ladies and gentlemen, to the right, the high speed directed after conventional flight, intermediate for short takeoff, short landing, and down. During this maneuver, the pilot will accelerate from 500 knots to 0 knots, utilizing multiple thrust nozzles. The pilot, who directs into fleet air, reaction control nozzles located in wingtips, nose, and tail, maintains control of aircraft during vertical operations. Now let's watch as Major Scheibe decelerates his aircraft by selecting the nozzle's pull down and deliberately overshoots his hover point in order to demonstrate the Harrier's capability to move backwards through the air. The AV-8B is capable of operating from remote sites in close proximity to friendly forces or on carriers and other smaller ships, where only a minimum amount of landing space is available.
much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. If you would, a big round of applause for the Harrier. Well, at this time, we are going to work to recover the Harrier off to our right. And you may have noticed during the later stage, that final part of that hover that we saw, some black smoke work its way underneath the airframe. That is, in fact, that water being injected into the combustion chamber, which actually cools down the motor, and as the pilot works to decelerate, he will perform a maneuver towards his acceleration